Not gonna lie, I wanted to make this video a little bit earlier. Well, I was indecisive about making this video, but the more I hear and read about it, the more I listen to what the podcast was, seeing CJ's response. This is the problem with the Philadelphia Eagles and the NFL as a whole right now. Because you can attribute this to the Cowboys. You can attribute this to every single player, every single rivalry that has players like this doing things like this. It's one thing when you're, Pro Bowl, Super Bowl, and all of that, when you're actually like getting together with other players of other teams, commercials, off the field stuff during the off season, right? It's one thing to go onto a podcast of a player that's on your division rival, your most hated division rival, and joke around about what your teammate was saying, trying to create this mindset, this feeling going into a game that didn't work because of what ended up happening between not just CJ and what he was doing on the field, but Maddox whiffing and missing tackles left and right, Darius getting completely burnt once again. And then he goes onto the podcast and talks about how, CJ, he can talk all that talk, but sometimes it doesn't translate to the field, and you got to deal with, the repercussions of that. And I'm like, dude, why are we talking about this about your teammates on a division rivals podcast? Why are you even on your division rivals podcast to begin with? And then you go on to Twitter. That was even before he went on the podcast. He was on Twitter, and he locked it now. It's private because of everything that went on after the Buccaneers game, where fans were grilling him and the rest of the Eagles for how poorly they were playing and this, that, the other. And it's like, man, how sensitive are we? And then I hear that Quinyon Mitchell deleted his Twitter, and I'm like, why is the one young lad the only person locked in? And it shows because he allowed Mike Evans to catch 4 catches for a whopping 19 yards against him on Sunday. And it's just like, man, how are the young guys in certain areas outperforming the old vets that are supposed to be leading the way? It's a culture problem, and it all starts from up top with the coaching, because they let this slide. It was the same sort of thing with the 49ers game when we saw how in their face the Niners got with the Eagles, and the Eagles didn't do anything. They just walked away as they were taunting and yelling and pointing and getting in each other's faces. You see James Bradbury and Darius Slay and everybody just walking along like it's a normal day in the Link, getting blown out 42-19. Like, it's a disgrace, but we're used to it, right? That's what we do. It's dumb, it's stupid, and it's got me worried. And then I'm so glad we're on a bye week right now, because this whole team needs a wake-up call, like the biggest of all wake-up calls. And I'm hoping that the way the fans continue to react, the way that the coaches are responding and answering questions, that the ownership does something sooner or later. Like, I know we're not going to see coaching changes happen. It's only week 5, but something's got to be done. There's got to be something, brewing in that, that ownership level. Like, I don't know, man. It's bad right now.